Hey everyone, it's Max and welcome back to our Python tutorial. Alright, so now we're going to look at how we can install Pygame. And to do that, we're going to head over to pygame.org, and then we're also going to go and head into the download section. So we'll go into pygame.org/download. And once we're here, we're going to find this section here that's going to allow us to download Pygame. Alright, so we see that there are all these different packages here, and what's nice is that for different operating systems, we have different installing packages. So there are many that are provided, but yeah, we'll just go through the standard ones. So for Windows, for example, we have these .exe files that you can see, these executable files that you can also download and that you can use for there. But we're going to be looking at the Mac version right now, so we're going to scroll down to Macintosh, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to go over here, and we're going to just, well, right now we can just, well, yeah, let's just open it directly. So we'll be downloading that, and just waiting for that download to finish. So we're downloading the .dmg file. That's for Python 2.7. And it requires Mac OS X at least version 10.3.9. So that's important to note. Also important to note is that we have a 32-bit version of this. And so that also requires a 32-bit version of Python running on our Macintosh computer. In case you don't have that, then you'll probably get an error in your Python environment, but I'll also show you how to make sure that you have that. And if you don't have it, you can just uninstall that and reinstall it. But I'll show you how to do that in a second in case we're there. But let's just finish off this installation first. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to open this package. And okay, so we're going to right click on it and then we're going to open it. And yes, we want to open it. And then we're just going to continue through here, go through the README, install it, type in our password, and then it's just going to run the installation for us. And once it's done, there we go, we can just close it. And we can actually move the installer to the trash if we want because we no longer need it. So yeah, that's all good and great. So we've got that done. Now, in case you try the next part of the tutorial and you notice that you're getting some kind of error, if you see, for example, something wrong with the architecture or so in the error, then what's probably happening is that the Python version that you've downloaded is Python 2.7, but for a 64-bit system. And right now, this Pygame system is only for 32 bits. So in case you're getting that error, head back to python.org, and then we go into this Downloads tabs here, and we're going to be scrolling down, and we're going to be going into this looking for a specific release section. And we'll scroll until we find, so we can scroll here if we like, until we find Python 2.7. We're going to be using 0.13, but you use whatever floats your boat. But 2.7.13 is the one that we're going to be using. Make sure it's 2.7. Then we're going to click on here, and then we're going to scroll down. And what we want is we want the 32-bit installer here. So in case you downloaded this one maybe, then if you actually go through the installer at some point, it will tell you if you're installing the 64 or the 32-bit version. And in case you have a 64-bit computer, you'll probably by default just install the 64-bit. So to make sure that you have the 32-bit version, we'll be downloading this one, and then you can reinstall the idle like that. One thing that you should do beforehand is make sure you go to your applications and just delete the Python 2.7 folder that you created when you installed idle the first time. So, but that's only in case you run into this error. Some of you may not, but in case you do, this is how you can fix it. And then you want to make sure that the version that you're using is the one for this 32-bit, just because that's the one that Pygame is compatible with. And so once you have all of that set up, then it's really great and easy, and then we can just go into Python, into our environment like always, and then we can nicely import Pygame and use it in all of our code. But yeah, so we'll see how we can import Pygame and how we can start playing around with it and creating cool things, but we'll look at that in the next tutorial. And yeah, So just make sure that you have this 32-bit version, and if everything works fine, then you should be fine. If not, then you may want to consider just uninstalling the idle that we downloaded before and re-downloading the 32-bit version.